I had to turn off my fan so that I'd be able to speak in this video, and it's so hot. So if I sweat this makeup off by the end of this video, deal with it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Betsy and I make makeup and beauty history videos. And if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then I will leave a playlist of every single time period that I've done so far in the description for you. So if you love makeup or you love history, or if like me you love both combined, then please subscribe so you don't miss where we travel to next. Today we are of course traveling to ancient Greece, and obviously I cannot get every single look that I do to be as absolutely historically accurate as I would like to with my modern product. But if you would like a little visual representation of what ancient Greek makeup may have looked like, then please keep watching. Ancient Greek women loved makeup. However, there was a sudden societal pressure to look as natural as possible, but that didn't stop women from enhancing their natural features. They really revered the no makeup look, like we do nowadays though, to be honest. But for the first time in history, makeup was quite looked down upon. It wasn't something that was just a way of life anymore. And as we've seen from other time periods up until this point, the rich were able to afford better quality makeup that would last a lot longer throughout the day. However, that didn't stop working class women from using their own versions of these makeup products as well. And obviously it was a lot easier now for working class women to blend in with the rest of the society because of this natural beauty ideal. Because for the first time in history, cosmetics for all classes were barely visible on the face. However, I think it's also important to point out that the majority of ancient Greek writings that we have discovered were written by upper class men. So a lot of these natural beauty ideals may have just come from a place of prejudice, and that these views were not shared by every single ancient Greek person. And wealthy ancient Greek authors' views on makeup at the time wasn't great. So I think that's important to bear in mind. Makeup was seen as a form of trickery to make men fall in love with you and make you look more beautiful than you actually were. Sounds familiar? But anyway, let's move on to some of the actual products that were used at the time. Since olive trees are abundant in Greece, it's only natural that olive oil became the leading ingredient in their cosmetics, and they would lather themselves in moisturizers made from it along with yogurts and honey. I've mentioned this so many times in my videos already, but majority of ancient civilizations used a lot of honey in their skincare ingredients because honey is incredible for the skin, because it has a lot of antibacterial qualities to it and moisturizing properties as well. Olive oil is also naturally high in a lot of vitamins that are great for the skin and is obviously very moisturizing as well. And obviously the yogurt is also high in lactic acid, which again is great for moisturizing the skin. But keeping the skin clear and soft was of high importance in ancient Greek culture, again because they weren't wearing a lot of cosmetics at the time. Greek soldiers would also rub olive oil on their body before exercising or going into battle, and at the time it was also used for personal use. Lube. Forgive me if I don't demonstrate that one in a YouTube video. Wrong website. That was a joke, Mom, if you're watching. So I concocted a little face mask slash moisturiser of my own using all of these three ingredients, and I then also moisturised with my Egyptian magic cream because this has a lot of natural ingredients in it, including olive oil and honey, so I thought it was the best one to use today. Not trying to compare the two different cultures to each other, it's just yeah, and they did not scrimp on the olive oil, okay? They lathered themselves in this, so the shinier your face, the better if you're going to recreate this look. And ancient Greek women powdered their face with a white lead to appear paler, as the beauty standard was to be as pale as possible to show that you were rich enough to sit inside leisurely all day and not have a labour-intensive job out in the sun. It's not very nice to say, but pale skin was a real symbol of status in ancient Greece. However, at this time, obviously near the Mediterranean, everyone had brown skin, so they had to paint their faces paler to keep up with this fair-skinned beauty ideal. And the lead that they used was extremely poisonous and made a lot of women extremely ill, and even killed some and their husbands that they were kissing. The thing that makes this even worse is that they knew how poisonous it was at the time, even back then, and they continued to use it anyway. However, if they couldn't afford lead, they would instead use chalk, which again obviously didn't last as long throughout the day, so working class women had to reapply their makeup a lot during the day, and the rich could afford servants to do this for them. Charcoal, soot or ashes, again mixed with olive oil, was used to define the eyes ever so slightly. Again, they wanted to look like they had nothing on at all, but they still wanted to brighten and draw attention to the eyes slightly. Again, the no makeup kind of how we do that now. To recreate the effect that this was charcoal, I'm going to use a liquid liner and then smudge it out slightly with a powder. But again, I tried to keep it as natural looking as possible, so... And charcoal was also used in the eyebrows. And depending on which period you look at in ancient Greece, it was actually trendy for eyebrows to meet in the middle. This is again because of the natural beauty standard. If your eyebrows were untouched, it meant you were pure and you didn't enhance yourself in any way. The monobrow was actually seen as a symbol of great beauty and intelligence. You were seen as a more evolved woman if you didn't pluck your eyebrows. Because you were too intelligent to think about frivolous girly things like beauty, you had other stuff that you needed to think about. But the women of ancient Greece, to look more natural, went as far as to glue animal hair to their face to give the effect of the monobrow. And they would do this with tree sap, or they would draw on their eyebrows with charcoal to fit in with the societal beauty standard. Yes, they wanted to look like they didn't enhance their face by enhancing their face. I know how that sounds. But I mean, the clean girl, no makeup is trendy at the minute, so we can't really talk about that, to be honest. And it's worth mentioning as well that even back then, the societal beauty standards were so unrealistic. How often do you see a pale person with thick eyebrows? Which is why even back then they had to wear makeup to fit in with these ridiculous beauty standards. And blusher and lip stains were made from either beetroot, wine, or red iron oxide, again mixed with olive oil and sometimes beeswax. Again, I'm trying to keep this slightly subtle to keep up with the natural beauty ideal, but essentially they wanted to add the pink colour back into their cheeks and lips because it signified good health. You didn't have any diseases if your skin looked really healthy, which I guess is why we wear blusher now. So yeah, again, we can't talk about that one, can we? Now for the hair, I tried to replicate the traditional Greek hair taping that they used to do, which is where they wrapped their hair repeatedly around like a funky headband. Kind of tried to do that today. I think it looks cute though. However, they would only wear their hair down like this if they were young and unmarried. If they were married, they would pull their hair back into a bun to stop wandering eyes from looking at their beauty. And they would only show their hair and their true beauty to their husbands. I mean, again, a lot of people cover their hair to this day for that exact same reason, so, you know. And that's all I can really talk about in this video, to be honest. Sorry if this is a slightly shorter video than normal, but again, they didn't wear a lot of cosmetics at this time, so there's only so much that I can really talk about. But thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Again, I will have a playlist in the description and I'll try and leave a little list of all the products that I used as well. In the next video, I might try and do the Celtic era. But yeah, please leave a comment of what time period you would like to see next as well, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Also, side note, why do I love how this monobrow looks? I kind of suit a monobrow. Should I, like... Oh, I have no eyebrows as it is though. I might start doing this every day, to be honest. If you have a natural monobrow, stop plucking it now because it's cute. I like it.